Jump Live, our cloud collaboration platform, has been the tool that organizations have used to take discoveries found in JMP and share them broadly and widely in their organizations. The SPC, or Statistical Process Control, workflow has been greatly improved in JMP Live 19 and now includes control chart monitoring and triage, process screening enhancements, and full Python integration for refresh reports. JMP Live also has responsive reports that make consuming and interacting with those reports in JMP Live easier on mobile devices. To talk about some of the new capabilities in JMP Live, I'd like to hand it over to Aurora Tiffany Davis, Principal Software Developer on our JMP Live team. Aurora?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, so here are just a few highlights of what's new in JMP Live. First, we've reorganized the home page to help you find interesting content quickly. Here on the left-hand side, we list out collaboration spaces that you have recently visited. You can click on a star next to a space to make it one of your favorites, and your favorite spaces always show up here on top. On the right-hand side of the home page, we've added some focus areas. So, content that you have recently viewed, content that you have bookmarked, reports that have control chart warnings, and content that has recently been updated. Let's take a look at reports that have control chart warnings. Some of these need attention because they have warnings in there that haven't been dealt with yet. Some are under investigation, and some are fully addressed. And these categories reflect a new capability in JMP Live that we're calling control chart triage. So here is a control chart on JMP Live that has a few warnings. When you triage a warning on JMP Live, you can communicate some very important things to your colleagues. It's being dealt with. Here's who's responsible for it. And here's what we think is going on. In this case, I seem to recall a silicon sand mixing issue around this time, and I'll say, please investigate. So now anybody who visits this report can see this information. Because I've assigned this warning to Annie, she'll get a notification about this, and that notification will have a link that will bring her right here to this specific warning. She can then continue to update the status, the assignee, and the notes as she sees fit during her investigation. So let's say that you get a notification from JMP Live, whether it's about a control chart or anything else, and you have more than one email address. Well, now, in your user settings, you can specify a secondary email. And you can use this secondary email in your notification settings. So when you go to your notification settings page, for any of these notification types, you can have the email sent to your primary email address, to your secondary email address, or to both. Now let's take a look at another report. This one is a very simple distribution report showing the depths and magnitudes of some earthquakes. On the magnitude distribution, I've made some very bold design choices. And now I'd like to make this look a little bit more professional. I want the magnitude distribution to look more like the depth distribution. Well, now I can edit this report script right here on JMP Live. So let's do that. I'll take the settings that I like from the depth distribution, and I'll apply them to the magnitude distribution and save that. And now when I click on Regenerate Report, JMP Live is going to use that edited script to produce a report that anybody who visits here is going to see, and hopefully it'll be a little nicer. Let's see. I do think that looks better. Okay, let's take a look at the data that this report relies on. It looks like this report relies on data called Earthquakes Simplified. When we open that up, it is very simple, not much to talk about there, but I do want to talk about the data refresh script because it uses some new capabilities. First, it references a different piece of data on JMP Live called All Day, and that's new, the ability to chain data together like this on JMP Live. Now, this is a really simple example. You just have one data table that's based on another. But it could be more interesting than that. You could have a one source data table that splits out into many, or many source data tables that are combined into one. This data refresh script also uses an add-in from the JMP Marketplace to convert depth from kilometers to miles, and that's also new, the ability to use add-ins in your JMP Live scripts. Well, let's take a look at this all-day data that the simplified data is based on. It looks like this contains a lot more information about earthquakes. Now, this all-day data is also using a data refresh script, but this one is written in pure Python, and that's a new capability as well. This all-day data has a refresh schedule, so it automatically refreshes every hour, which is frequent enough for what we want to do here. But we could, if we wanted to, have a data refresh script that runs automatically as frequently as every 10 seconds. Okay, these have been just a few highlights of what's new in JMP Live, and we hope that these features and the other new features are useful to you. Thank you.